one. Thanks everyone for coming. As far as stuff going on this week, it's been a fairly eventful week. I think, as will come to be revealed as we go through here. But I'll start kind of from I want to say least important, I guess. Stuff that just isn't as big of a deal, but I just want to address the Festival of Hope for anybody not in the All Things. This is something we're planning for second weekend of July to kind of fill in the gap in events there. Something centered around Einar Yar, and we have a couple ideas we're kind of throwing around. We're still going to hash some stuff out with that, but I think there's going to be some stuff like we're going to have HLS Hope slash Stan clan tags that people can wear probably for the whole month. And then people, probably some stuff revolving around changing avatars, possibly. For this idea of celebrating Annuar, you kind of pick one, and possibly, you kind of dress up, cosplay as them, whatever you want to call it. And we'll probably have a channel where you can go and talk about your favorite Annuar, maybe why you like them, why you think they're significant. That's kind of what we got right now. I think there's a couple other ideas that people were bringing up that we might add on to that as well. That was just a brief overview of it. I know I had said a couple weeks back I was planning on doing some kind of beginner, I guess, lectures on like basic WA topics, like each house and stuff. Maybe some like briefly going over different eras of WA history, mostly geared towards newer members or maybe even just old members who just are, just like the lore, so they're willing to show up to anything. I still have not set the first one of those, but I'm really hoping to do one of those pretty soon. So I will try to get one of those started soon. In addition, I am trying to come up with a name for them. I guess just something lectures, I don't know. So that's one thing, but um, finally, yes, Glauber just posted this actually, but the matinee movie night happening this Saturday, May 18th at 12 p.m. noon PST, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. British time. I'll be watching Thor Ragnarok, so that'll be cool. I think I should be there actually. I definitely really like that movie as well. Worth watching again for sure. I can recommend it. In addition, we had Austin Yeller here actually came up and just asked me about a WA Instagram, and I thought, well, hey, we got a Twitter and a Facebook. I mean, like, why not? And offered to make it and run it. So I was like, yeah, go for it. So he made it. I posted the link in announcements. So thanks to him for doing that. I think that'll be cool. He's just thus far has kind of been posting stuff like the calendar and talking about various events we got going on. So yeah, that's a cool little thing we got going on. So next, kind of ramping up here, speaking of Nelson Gallagher, aka Caboose, the Bjarglings, his family, was founded within House Dane last week, and he's the Earl of them now. But I think it would be remiss to bring that up and not to bring up the super big announcement, which I am going to post announcements as we reveal this, so we get a concurrent reveal. Actually, realizing that the message is too long, it's going to take two messages. 1 second. And a bit of a wall of text and announcements there, but I think a worthy reason to do it because we have a new house, and I think there's probably been some word of this kind of milling around WA. Some people have probably heard, but maybe some haven't, or I think nobody knows, everything about it. So the full reveal is here, and yeah, it is House Warden, which I like the sound of, and we've also got um, a role I created, so we'll start assigning that and whatnot. But yeah, they're going to be white on Discord, white, red, and gold. Their colors. I don't want to go through and read the whole announcement for you guys. I think that would just be a bit silly, but you can see it there, and it's gonna. The House Warden has the Mannylings, the Bjarglings, and the Soul Jäger. So led by Mandigo the Lord, of course. Prince is Austin Gallagher, and then Manny Goody leading the Manning family as Earl, Austin Gallagher leading the Bjargling family as their Earl, and of course Skullruss leading the Soljäger as their Earl. So pretty exciting stuff. You can see Manny Goody also wrote a cool kind of little in-lore description of their place in the WA lore as well, so that's cool. I might cross-post it to Obsidian Hall. I suppose just announcements is good enough, but yeah, I think certainly I believe Mandy Gold is excited and everyone in his house excited, and I'm super excited because I mean, for those of you who don't know or may have forgotten, we haven't had a new house. The most recent new house created was House Kilroy in 2006. So that was 13 years ago, which is pretty crazy. And we've had multiple houses, kind of die since then. And I know some people have kind of said, well, House Blitzkrieg, died a few years back. House Thief is down to just Ultima left, so we're kind of losing houses, but now we're gaining one, which I think is awesome. But I won't rant about it too much. I think the coolness of the announcement kind of speaks for itself. But yeah, I mean, congratulations to Manigothi and Austin Gallagher and Skullruss and everyone in House Warden. I think their work speaks for itself. They recruited enough. I mean, you look at House Stain was literally up to 60 people, which is pretty crazy for a single house. There's been a lot of periods in WA history where we didn't have 60 people in the clan. So I think being able to get up to 60 is well done to everybody in House Stain. And then, of course, yeah, congrats to House Warden on their new
And now
house.
the Brits outnumber them.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's about all there is to say from me. Manigo, I don't know if you want to say anything on that. That was actually the final kind of a little announcement I had. So we'll kind of open it up after, unless yeah, Manigo, you want to say anything on the subject of your new house?
I mean, I don't really have many like words that I was gonna say. The most I was gonna say is like just to like the family members and stuff that have been like there, Snjallargeir and the rest of the Garglings, and then as well, the rest of the Mannylings and such, that have been there like helping through everything, as well as people like Bjorn Stjarner and Vest, and everyone that's been there to like help us as we like build ourselves up. I just want to extend like a really sincere thank you, because it's been a really fun ride. And like the biggest thing is like it definitely wasn't just like myself, and it wasn't just like me and Caboose, or it wasn't like one or two people that are responsible for this. There's definitely a lot of different folks whose time and effort has gone into this. So I'm really happy with it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how things play out from here forth. I'm really proud.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I am too. I think it feels like super cool to be able to be leading WA and get to see a new house. Right. I mean, I think just being in the clan, being able to see this happen is really cool. I mean, I honestly, we've had some cool stuff happen, but not a lot of stuff compares to a new house coming out. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we could certainly talk about the idea of a new house for quite a long time, but I imagine maybe people have a few questions related to that or other stuff. So yeah, we will just open up Fireside at this point to any kind of thoughts, comments, questions, concerns anybody has.
Can I just say congratulations?
Yeah, congratulations.
Congrats, Manny. Long time coming.
Sad to
Thank
see
you,
you
sir.
go, but have fun.
You'll always be a Dan.
Yep. At heart.
He meant bitch, but yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Oof.
Oh, we're starting the house war early then. I see. Well,
Can't wait
now.
for the juicy lore pieces to come out on this.
Actually, funny enough, that is something that I have been working on. Originally, I'd planned to get it done, prior to this announcement actually being made. However, unfortunately, life's been pretty rough these past couple of weeks, so I haven't necessarily had a whole ton of time to be working on that. Though, rest assured that that is coming down the pipeline.
Oh,
Who knew like one house would cause so much chaos within the order of all the channels?
can I ask a question, Manny?
Shoot.
I'm gonna read all of this afterwards, so sorry if I'm. Does your house have a tradition of some sort?
As of yet, not really. That's something that actually I'd planned on taking up with the other earls and all as part of our big council. I'm not necessarily sure what I'm gonna put in for that yet, but we're definitely gonna have something. I know that for our night order, we at least have the name. We are going to be founding the Templar Order as our night thing. Yeah, is anyone surprised by that? Is the real question.
Nope.
Um,
I thought
so
your only words when you said you didn't have many words was just gonna be like Dave's fault or something.
yeah, Deus Vult non nobis Domine, Ave
Yeah,
Maria.
pretty much.
I'll just break that into
So,
Gregorian chanting right.
so who are the earls here? Who do you have?
So the earls are, of course, myself as Earl of the Mannylings, Osnjallargir as Earl of the Bjarglings, and Skolris as Earl of the Souljaeger.
Oh, right. Okay, thank you.
So, and then yeah, if anyone does have any further questions, please feel free to ask me, because there's a lot that unfortunately I haven't been able to actually put into canon writing yet. So there is going to be a bit of work that has to be done on my end.
Please don't be old dippity that didn't have a tradition, because that was boring.
Yeah, we're gonna have something. Not necessarily sure what that something's going to be, but we're gonna have something. That's for sure.
No offense, Vest. Your house used to be very boring.
We can rebuild him.
Our old tradition was just, being all the leaders and officers in the clan. So
Well, I
we were a
remember
little
you
busy
saying
with that.
at a
Wow.
fireside
Wait,
that
wasn't
your
that
tradition, your tradition was to have no tradition, and I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, no, it's true actually. There was really a strong thing, and I don't know if this came from somebody, but there's this strong feeling of like, oh, we're in Dippity. We don't need marks. We don't need awards. We don't need traditions. We just love our house because it's Dippity, and we don't need to be rewarded for this. And that was this feeling. And I honestly, I was always kind of like, I guess. I never quite agreed with it, but
Well, you know what though? There were talks. I forget when, of like starting an officer school back in Third Fleet. I'm pretty sure, like, because you had look who you had. You had like Ao, myself, you, Ulf, like I'm trying to think of any other dipties, but I mean that's like 5 dipties right there, all at like LT level back in the fleet. So like Ricky. I don't know if I said Ricky. We had Eldfiner. We had was Lance. I don't know if Lance was an officer.
Yeah.
Right? And then who else do we have?
Puck.
There's a Puck. Yeah, before he left. So we had a bunch of people who were all like LT and round LT and up. So like we were the officer corps, and then you had all the Danes sitting up on Mount Olympus, So like from a practical sense, we ran WA, right? So I think we as a night order were putting in to like train officers and look for like good candidates and like guide them, and that was definitely a thing. I'm not making it up. I forget how it got started, but I mean,
Can I request a new rule be made about houses?
what about?
Vesborger?
a new what be made?
Like a new rule. All parties leaving the house must notify the house lord that they want to leave. Like, I didn't know about.
Oh, maybe like all
Yeah,
families or
Yeah.
yeah, I can add that.
That would be perfect. I sent him a message. I was trying to be respectful with my message, but I wanted him to understand I wasn't pleased that I didn't. Like there
If
was talks.
anything, if anything, actually, I think that'd be more my fault because it
No,
is kind of
no,
my
it's not your fault.
responsibility to notify you.
And Earl should let their house lord know that they plan to leave. You're an Earl until you make a new house. So I mean, you're just as responsible as everyone else. So it's not like, you know.
Mhm.
Just a brief aside, anyone in House Warden, I'm actually currently messing with the permissions, but I imagine some stuff could be weird. Hopefully you'll be able, I'll just give a few people the role so they can kind of test it out. But if there's anything weird, like there's a channel you could see before that you can't now, let me know. And no, I could see House Dane before, but now I can't. Does not count as a problem, but yeah.
Well, you mean we're not allowed to be spies?
Not yet.
Pretty sure you
Darn.
don't want to be in House Dane chat anyways.
I
Yeah,
mean,
too
I
many
would've liked
weebs.
to have Skull didn't
Too
say
many
anything.
weebs and Brits. There's a stark lack of freedom in there.
Are they gonna stay
Yes.
white?
That's the plan,
Yes, I do
yeah.
believe so.
Oh, because originally the other what is it, sword wreckers, they were white, and we were just having a hard time distinguishing stuff, and so then you switched them to the blue.
If there's an issue with it, I do believe that that's something that can be changed later down the line.
Yeah, we can look at it again. I think one thing that I was a little hesitant to do a red because I really wanted a new house to stand out from the other ones, but we'll see.
Pink is always an option.
No, yeah, as I was saying in Council of Lords, if we ever get another house down the line, pink does actually look really good on Discord, and it stands out pretty well. I don't know who would, what kind
I
of.
refuse for my new house to be pink.
It's gonna be Roderland's Valkyries.
I'll do it. I'm in.
All right, it's now your destiny to make the pink house.
I mean, as a descendant from Commander, it'd be perfect.
All right.
Actually, real quick, Vest, not necessarily much a tradition side of things, but I believe we were discussing my last name with the whole warden thing. Do you remember what we decided on that?
No, actually, I'm pretty sure I sent. Let's see. Scroll through our conversations here.
There's a lot there.
Unless it was something we talked about in voice. I remember talking about it, but
Yeah, I remember talking about it. I believe you said I
Are
believe
you
you said
messing
you
with
were good with it.
Solaris's roles right?
yeah.
Okay, because he's like freaking out. He's like, "Can I get left back into the server? What did I do?" And I was like, "I think he's just messing with your."
Yeah, it should be, I think, pretty much fixed now. Is there anything right now he can't see?
You
Yeah.
can't post or talk.
Did you accidentally give him the guest role or something?
No.
Because he was in the thing, and then it looks like he got kicked out.
Hold on. Let me take a look here. Compare. Oh, okay. There is some stuff that's tied to the role. Let's see.
Riveting Fireside.
Indeed.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Vest, I scrolled through our DMs, by the way. I think that that's something that we talked about in voice.
Okay, it should be better. Okay, yeah, I can see he's not muted now. He should be. Okay. Okay, that's why. Hopefully that should be largely fixed now. Yeah, so I guess you were kind of asking if you should have Mannyling and Warden in your name, or just Warden.
Yeah,
Right.
just warden.
Did you prefer just Warden or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my preference, anyways. But
yeah, I think that's fine. That's fine by me.
excellent. Then I'm gonna change that right now.
Sorry, what was that? Changing last name?
Oh, also, if you can invite us and Yallergear to the Council of Lords, I believe we are not friends, or it's not letting me invite him for some reason.
Yeah, I should be able to do that.
Manny's breaking tradition. Usually, a house is named after someone, not the other way around.
Yeah, that's the thing is the originally I came to Vesta and I asked like, hey, usually a house is named after its its founder, not it's not just an arbitrary name. And
What
so
about
I
yellow? How does yellow look?
I'd actually requested to get my last name, just mine, changed to Warden. By all intents and purposes, I'm still a Mannyling, always will be. But the only difference is that my last name shows as Warden.
So that makes sense.
The tradition is that the House Lord adopts the last name Warden.
Perhaps that's something that we need to discuss.
I think it's more like a house founder.
Yeah, it's the founder. Like Dane's name is Dane, Dippity's name is Dippity.
Yeah, but Dane's name is Dane Grimling.
Yeah, but he adopted that like 10 years in.
I think it's day one. I think we'll be fine.
That's true.
It'll get sorted
No
out.
need to get upset.
I could get upset if I want.
No, let's fucking riot.
Dane wasn't the Grimling day one.
No, Dane was Dane. Actually, Spear the Dane. I don't remember what his first name was.
Also,
the Dane. Or...
That's
Commander and Dippity and Kilroy didn't have like family titles.
I think
It's been
I
how
think
many
you should
years?
give them yellow.
It's been how many years since the last house? I think we don't have to follow every little detail to the letter.
Yeah, there's
13
definitely.
years. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
And thus begins the slide of tradition.
Is white gonna be the color? I'm sorry, I just
No, it should be yellow.
I think white is the plan for now. I mean, it's something we could look at changing at some point or moving some stuff around, but at least that's what we're rolling with for now.
We could discuss it in the House Warden chat.
The last time there was a new house, Sonic was in a state. Man, aren't you glad times have changed? Ugh.
What?
I don't
Sonic,
understand the joke.
Sonic the Hedgehog was it was Sonic 06. Sonic 06 happened last time last time there was a new house. And
You weren't very clear. Now I get the joke.
yeah, sorry. I have not been all here today.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we have, we obviously have WA has created houses before. Definitely 13 years later, it's kind of different. And that was one thing that me and Manny talked about a lot is in terms of what to name the house and whatnot. And I really like the sound of House Warden. And basically, alternatively, it was like, well, House Manigothy or House Manny. It's a little. I mean, it sounds okay, but it's a little bit breaking from tradition there because all the previous houses the leaders didn't have Norse names, or they didn't use them in the name of the house. Then it's like, is it House Medic? And we were kind of like, I don't know about that. So
yeah, House Medic don't sound too good, and then
House Doc sounds awesome
Moon,
though.
House of Moon don't sound that great.
House Doc, like Doctor, House Doctor. I don't know.
I like Warden.
I like Warden a
I
lot
prefer
actually.
Warden.
Warden is
House
a good
Glowering
one.
would sound a bit pretentious.
I don't even know what glowering means.
It doesn't mean anything. It's a Lord of the Rings name.
Ah.
Warden?
No, Glaurung.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I have no clue what Warden is.
Everyone just assumes it's a Norse name.
it has like a little bit of this. I mean, I know as a something of a Lord of the Rings nerd, but there's sort of that. I feel like a little bit of that kind of Norse sounding with it. But
It doesn't have enough umlauts.
True. You always need more of those.
There's not enough fucking weird ass characters in there.
Yeah, and fuck anybody that uses them when I'm searching for people and
Yeah, I'll be honest. I just type in Dr. Medic every time.
Well, hey, now people can type Warden,
Oh, there you go.
and now it'll show my name. So
Well, one thing we could also do is we can change the color of guests on the server. It's kind of
That's fair. Make them yellow.
an
Who
interesting
thought?
little thing.
You could just make them gray.
Well, they are gray.
Well, there you go.
We can make it a different gray.
Make it an uglier gray.
Yellow. Make
Just
it them
ostracize
pink.
them.
Yellow.
Yellow or pink.
Don't make it yellow or pink because the yellow actually looks really good because I use it in the CAE server, and it's
Does
really
it?
pretty. And I think whoever uses a future house should use that. But white works really well.
I
with
think they're fine as is. A gray is, dull and it's perfect for a guest.
I say we start a new house guest. All the guests go to house guest.
Who's the lord of the guests, though?
House pleb.
I
Who's Lord of
offer
the
myself.
Guests?
Make it warrior because
Yeah, make it warrior. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Didn't Numenor have
Don't give him
basically the
form.
guest house?
Oh,
He had the frost lift.
yeah, he had the guest. He was captain of the guest division, basically.
Yeah, that was really annoying. Let's not do that.
What?
There was
Yeah,
a guest.
that was the
division?
thing.
Well, I mean, that's
Starvald
close.
says he doesn't have any special characters. Is his name? Yes, we who have to type names all the time appreciate you.
Yeah. Fuck you guys that don't.
But yeah, I think the only thing that might, if somebody went and made a new house and said, well, what about yellow, is that is kind of the outcast color, especially if you have played the WA card game. There's some association there. Not a deal breaker, but a thing people might think about. I mean, for example, the Manilings, originally the term Maniling was used for like some of like the demons in the WA lore, so there's certainly always a possibility of, changing stuff around or writing it as such. If you read the origin of the
Very
Manilings, you
fitting.
can see it makes sense, and it's kind of adopted into the identity for them and everything.
Oh, there's still a
They're toxic.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Roger, Roger.
I mean, he's
You
not
didn't
wrong.
leave. We let you go.
Oh, that's it. Vestanten.
All right. Well, does anybody have any specific questions or concerns or anything like that? I mean, we're hitting right about 30 minutes, which I think is usually around where we start finishing things up. So I'll probably wind it down unless anybody has anything they wanted to jump up with.
Do we have a date on that shore thing?
No, actually, that is something I was gonna mention. Yeah, now that Manny has we got the new house who can then participate in the Yor thing, which I think will be cool. We're gonna have, I mean, if you count Kilroy, no offense, Seth, that is 5 houses participating in it. I would love to see Ultima even show up for a couple of matches, just for tradition's sake. But
Put him on the scoreboard at least once,
I'll play him in something and he'll probably get points.
No, we do not have a date. I will make a note of that, and I'll probably ask the Gladiators Guild to run it again if they're willing, which I believe Manny and Khan said they are, and we'll probably look at getting some specific stuff for that. But I think we'll probably aim at it starting June 1st, or maybe even like a day before or a day after, something like that. And running, I think the length that the Yarnrith went seemed pretty good, so probably something like that, which was like 2 weeks or so. So
How long was the original Yor thing?
I can't. I have an idea though.
I think it was 2 weeks.
Was it as well? Okay.
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure
it was like 2 weeks to a month. I don't remember though. I don't think it was a whole month.
Let's consult the WA Timeline Volume 2.
Well, the original Yor thing was just a roll off of House Wars, right? And those were usually a month.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So this one lasted from May 25th to June 11th. Was the one we did last year.
So 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. I don't know. Kind of like 2.5.
We should consult Anarian's school schedule so that he can't complain too much.
Seems like a very specific request.
It might be. And I hope he listens to this.
Well,
Since we're on... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Since we're on the topic, are we gonna limit the amount of challenges on this one? Because I don't know if that was an issue on the last event, but
that is a thought I had. Is maybe a given member can only have, let's say, 3 challenges active, because The one advantage that provides is, let's say you send out a challenge and it's like it's not answered in a while, but you want to challenge somebody else. Maybe you would have to withdraw your challenge and challenge somebody. I'm not sure, but
are you penalized for withdrawing a challenge?
I would say no, definitely. I think the only time you might penalize people is if like you get challenged and you like you avoid it without an excuse or something. I'm not sure, but
because I remember Manny and Khan having difficulties trying to sort through all the scores and the penalties at the end. And I can appreciate all their work, but I was hoping to maybe avoid all of that by limiting the amount of challenges both ways, like received and sent, I guess. And maybe also having a way to disengage a challenge that you are unable without penalty if both parties agree. I don't know. It's just something I was thinking, because real life does happen, and it kind of sucks to be penalized on that.
Like in the movie, the the Night movie with Heath Ledger, like
A Knight's
they can
Tale.
withdraw. Yeah, that one. They could both withdraw from the thing, and nobody would be.
The problem with our thing is if any like really active person has 3 challenges like standing, the biggest reason they would want to withdraw one is lack of response when they're trying to have more. And if they can't get the response, how are they going to get the person to agree to let the challenge go? Like if the person's there, there's a decent number of times like the challenge is getting ended because they weren't there at all.
I'm just voicing my concerns. I'm just hoping the Gladiator Guild can maybe add that or something similar to that to the rules whenever they post the announcement.
Yeah, I totally agree, and yeah, I wrote down all that stuff. I think it's a good idea, and we'll I'll probably bring it up at the All thing, and we'll talk about it in the Gladiators Guild, and probably maybe even at future Fireside chats. I'll definitely at least open it up. And yeah, the one big note I took down from the Yarnrith was let's use the last time Solite made a spreadsheet for it, but it actually never got used. So the biggest note I took was let's make the spreadsheet and let's use it for every challenge this time. Make it so much easier to count and keep track and everything like that. So I think that's a big thing we'll do that should make a lot of things easier for the Yor thing.
Yeah, do like party one, challenger, which could be a group. You can edit it to be a group, but someone could kick it off like Kuziag challenge, Managothi, game, extra terms, result, date, date of challenge, date of resolution, or how long it's outstanding or something. Like we could just fill it in as we go. So when we go through, it's just every challenge has a line with all the information we need, and then we can determine, well, this was outstanding, that should be forfeited, or this was like only a day, that should be basically canceled out. And then we can make those decisions when we're going through, and we don't have to like count anything up. It's just color code all the houses so you know who gets points, and then just count it up and leverage Excel to count for you. So
yeah, I think for sure those are all good ideas, and I think there needs to be some mechanisms for withdrawing, either like declining or withdrawing a challenge. I mean, I think generally speaking, the kind of rule we had in terms of like if you don't have any like reason to decline a challenge, like I'm busy with finals or I don't have an internet or whatever, totally fine, But if it's like a game you play, or because it's supposed to be how we've been doing it is both parties agree to the battlefield, so it should be a game both of you play, so it's like reasonably fair. I mean, it's just kind of like an honor thing basically. And then if that's the case, but you still decline it or you just fail to meet it, then we've been doing a penalty for it. But yeah, I think definitely having a mechanism to withdraw challenges makes sense. And maybe a key to that is just a limit on number of outbound and inbound challenges. Is probably not a bad idea. Well, cool. Probably am gonna wind down Fireside. Anybody have any final thoughts or anything they did want to bring up? All right. Well, cool. Well, congrats again to Manny on his new house, and yeah, it got me excited about the your thing now. So we'll definitely get on trying to get that organized and whatnot, and that should be a lot of fun. So thanks everyone for showing up. Thanks to anybody watching live or watching the VOD. We'll get it exported over to YouTube as well, and we will see everybody next week at 5 p.m. PST.
Cool.